I'm Elaine.
And I'm Rachel.
And welcome to
Legs Out.
And Away We Go. This is the podcast where we tell you about Formula One our way. The races, the cars, the drivers. We are obsessed.
And here's why you should be too.
Hi, Rachel.
Hi, Elaine.
We Abu Dhabi did it.
What a way to start this episode. I've never been more excited.
We've started it 15 times.
True. Full disclosure, you all hear it. I sound like a frog who's been through the Qatar desert, maybe.
It's like
I made it to Abu Dhabi from Qatar. I'm here now to talk with you all. As a frog. We're really, this is great.
Why frog? It's like, this is like your sexy alter ego. This is your phone sex voice.
So I feel like another time that we were sick, we went with the phone sex. But I feel like today, I don't think this is giving sexy rasp. I think it's just giving frog rasp.
I think we delete the word frog from the vocabulary for the next 60 minutes.
Excellent. Deleted. Gone. There she goes.
Great. Well, how we feeling?
We have a new world champion.
We do. Lando Norris. He did it.
Right off the bat, I have to ask you.
Yeah.
You were a big supporter of Lando. Obviously a massive supporter of Max. How are you feeling? Are you happy? Are you sad? Are you disappointed? Are you joyous?
Such a tough question. Okay. Full disclosure, we recorded this entire episode a few hours ago and the audio peed itself like Antonelli did last race.
Listen here. We had this battle before and now you all are going to hear it. Kimmy. Justice for Kimmy. Kimmy did nothing wrong.
Kimmy broke your vocal cords.
Kimmy broke. Yeah, it's not the frog. It's Kimmy. Oh no, we deleted that word. Never mind.
Okay. So as we were talking about this before, I think this is the prime emotional sentiment that I'm taking away from it is that it was so overly emotional that I was overjoyed for Lando and yet at the same time felt the loss for Verstappen, but he didn't show the loss at all, which I think showed a unique level of maturity. And it really did feel like passing the baton from one generation to the next, even though they're sort of in the same generation. I think Lando's a little bit younger than Max.
Yeah, let's see. Lando is 26. Do you know how old Max is?
Yeah, Max is 27. So a year.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I believe.
Actually think of Max as a lot older than Lando.
Maybe he's 28. We'll correct that later. Or you can yell at us later. How about that? But yeah, a year or two, I think, older. And yeah, it was so nice. It was heartbreaking and heartwarming at the same time. How do you feel?
Heartbreaking and heartwarming at the same time is quite in line with how I feel, which is this is a bittersweet end to the championship for me. I am so overjoyed for Lando because he was so overjoyed. We can kind of unpack how he characterized his win as we get into the episode. But the bitter part is Lando, while I love him, he is not who either of us necessarily wanted to win the championship. Max has won my heart in this comeback as he just blew us all away. We knew he was a world talent, a generational talent. But the way that he was able to pull back from over 100 points had me and so many other like neutral or other team fans just so behind Max because it was incredible to watch.
The 100-point deficit to overcome, that's insane.
That is truly insanity.
Yeah.
And had we been able to put the period on the end of that storyline, would have been just like a top 3 story of Formula One history, I feel like.
Yeah.
And so to see that not quite come to fruition by 2 points.
Yes. Yeah.
Frustrating.
So frustrating. And I think also a couple of people were talking about how non-monumental or non-momentous Lando's win was because, spoiler alert, Max Verstappen sailed away with that victory in Abu Dhabi. He secured P1 in qualifying and then kept to the lead the majority of the race. And it was flawless. It was stunning. His car looked so good. He fought for every inch of that. And so for him to secure that, but then also not win the world championship was just, And Lando, of course, needed to get a podium. And he secured P3. He wasn't even P2. So it just.
Yeah, it was a little bit like when you start a sentence and then you just
Dot, dot, dot.
dot dot dot. Exactly.
Yeah.
That's a little bit what like the end race felt like, because we were really building up the season finale of 3 contenders, which on paper, spectacular. And I think as we get some distance away from the end of this season, we will look back and this will have been a season that gave us so much on track and off track in terms of storylines, in terms of developments with teams, with drivers that I think will continue to be major players going forward. But yeah, it was not the bang that we were building it up to be.
Yes, actually, now that I'm thinking about it, I'm glad we have the opportunity to do this again.
Yeah.
Because here's why I think a lot of fans feel a sense of letdown, even if they were excited for Lando to win. And I think it's because, as we've learned this season, because it's been filled with so much, it's been filled with chaos, unpredictability, flags when you didn't expect it. And because of that, all of those precedents, I think we were expecting that level of, there were not even yellow flags.
Yeah.
There was one black and white flag, I think.
A couple, because this track is a difficult one to, I guess, stay in the white lines, because there's multiple white lines. They're double. It's like track, white line, teal paint, white line again. Who decided that was a good idea? But you're right. There was none of the shakeups that have not only characterized this season, but specifically the last 3 or 4 races of the season. Because remember, Lando had pretty much clinched this championship.
Yes.
In Vegas. And then you have double disqualification. And then next race, they are a mess up in strategy. And so we kept getting these tease outs of Max can do it. Max can do it.
Yeah. Yep.
Or Piastri can pull back because he all of a sudden got his form back.
Or even, wow, Qatar, this is really hella boring. And all of a sudden, we have Pierre Gasly and Hulkenberg doing whatever it is they do.
A little meeting of the minds.
Yes.
But on track and with tires.
Yes.
Flying.
And I respect the hell out of it because it gave us pure cinema.
I wish that Brazil was the season finale.
Brazil would be such a good season finale.
I understand that Abu Dhabi brings the fat stacks of cash, and that's why they are a season closer, because you pay for that privilege for sure.
100%.
But I wish that we were closing the season in Brazil, because there was really not a race I can think of that. I mean, I'm sure if I think really hard, there could be a couple races where Brazil was like, okay.
No, Brazil is always great. Like, you were right.
But they always deliver. And so Abu Dhabi did good, not great. They get like a C plus, B minus for me in terms of chaos on the track.
Rachel says you can take your fat stacks of cash and shove it.
Kindly. Or you can just pay for, an earlier spot in the season. I don't think it's a bad track. I like how much you can overtake.
I think it's beautiful.
It's beautiful. I would love to be there.
Yeah.
However, I just feel like the track characteristics don't necessarily give us the gripping chaos that you were hoping for.
Yes. So to your point, that's a great question. Ooh. Okay, listeners, we would love your help, and we would love for you to shoot us an email, legsoutandawaywego@gmail.com. Shoot us a DM on Instagram. Comment on one of our episodes in Spotify, wherever you get your podcast. We want to know what your favorite thing of the season was. What was your favorite shakeup? But I'm also curious, if we could end the season on a specific race, what race would you choose? I think I would choose Silverstone because that's always exciting.
It's really exciting. My one thing is we'd never get away from the British bias things that they say. I don't necessarily think it's that, implicit within the sport, but I feel like that would skyrocket those comments to a whole other level. But based on the track, that would be a great, great, great option. I love that.
Yes, it usually is. Well, I think we should leave the newsroom for the end, and I think we should just go ahead and talk about the race itself.
I love that. Yes.
Okay, so quali to me was slightly insignificant. We had Verstappen on P1, we had Lando Norris P2, and Oscar Piastri P3. The only interesting part of quali for me was the sneaky Russell P. Thor, the
Avenger, George Russell, who which superhero would George Russell be? Ant-Man.
Pee Wee Herman. I don't know.
Pee Wee Herman is not a superhero.
Yeah, exactly. Mr. Bean.
Actually, I have to revise my answer.
Hmm.
He would be Captain America, even though he's not
He's the douchey
American.
version of.
But it's okay. I think everyone knows your true feelings on George.
True. Trying to keep my lips shut. But it never works.
Never. No, don't.
Where were we?
Oh, you were telling me about sneaky George Russell could have thrown a wrench in the championship deciding.
So we had at the very end of qualifying 3 banger laps from our top 3 contenders. And then all of a sudden we see George start dive bombing around the track. He was going fast, capital F fast. And then right at the very end on the last curve, his car does one of those wiggle waggle loop-de-loops. He didn't do a full spin, and there were thoughts that he was going to get disqualified on this lap, but he had 3 wheels off, 1 wheel on, and then it reversed the other way. 3 wheels off, 1 wheel on in the different direction. And because of that little squiggle squaggle,
Squiggle squaggle, I like that.
That's what it was. Squiggle squaggle. And then he somehow mysteriously ended up in P4. But I am convinced that he probably, if he had not made that little mistake, little over understeer, he could have made it up there.
I think you're right. The Mercedes started the weekend looking really promising. Kimi Antonelli was unfortunately nowhere to be found. Very low in the standings. This was not the ending of the season that he would want.
Yuki Tsunoda, I will note. We're going to talk about that later.
Let's go, Yuki. But yes, George was so fast that it looked like he was going to be the man who got in the middle of the championship melee, basically. And so we were watching with bated breath, even though we're not always the George for pole fans. We were like, could he do it?
Did you mean to say championship ballet?
I said melee, but unfortunately, my voice is a little hard to hear.
Ballet was beautiful.
We should probably make that.
At every moment.
It's up to us.
Just so you know, we are constantly talking about making up little teeny choreographic amuse-bouches for you. And it rarely comes to pass because we have no time.
Because we're constantly dancing for other people. Yes.
But we would love to. Also, there's so many plugs. Let us know if you want to see something.
Yeah.
We'll make it for you maybe one day in 2028 when Ferrari is back.
Yes. Okay. So George didn't pull it off. However, speaking of Ferrari, on the day we start, of course, Max P1, Lando P2, Oscar P3, but that changes very quickly because Piastri sweeps around the outside and takes Lando Norris' spot. Now for Lando, this is not a panic moment because as long as Lando finishes on the podium, he will win the championship.
Yeah, he was very laissez-faire about it. It was like, I'm going to be aggressive, but I am not going to fight.
Right.
Which I respect. I get it.
It is boring to watch.
Yeah.
But it was a logical move. Basically, the entire way that he managed this race was logical and intelligent, not necessarily scintillating.
Yes.
Though I will give him a blanket kudos. My usually in neon lights top criticism of him is make decisive racecraft moves. I need you to make the move when it is open to you. Go, do it now. Don't wait 17 laps and be like, oh, now my tires are gone off. This entire race, he was so decisive and so opportunistic and was able to pull off really excellent moves with one, unfortunately, that was a little controversial, but otherwise he was making incredible moves. And I'll pull it back to Ferrari and then we'll get to the main meal of Yuki. Charles Leclerc was right behind him because he was chasing him in P4 the entire race.
Yeah.
Charles Leclerc, who has been nowhere recently because Ferrari was like, hey, stop talking, but also we won't keep developing your car past April. Don't worry. But still get us results. And he does because he is a magic man. That is incredible. However, he does not pass Lando. And so we get a championship winner.
So many things. I have so many things. I will say that they also put Lando and Piastri on different tire strategies, which I found interesting because they put Lando at a two-stop strategy, which left him in earlier traffic.
Mhm.
And that's where we were able to see these fantastic overtakes that Rachel is talking about. Extremely decisive,
Mhm.
clean,
Mhm.
immediate, without any drama whatsoever until he comes up
Dun, dun,
beside
dun.
Yuki. And of course, Yuki is given the immediate directive to literally do whatever you can to keep Lando behind you. And he's like, Roger, stop talking to me. Let me do it. So Yuki immediately squiggles all over that track to try. It was like, I like this metaphor. It was like you're the goalie for soccer or football if you're in the UK, wherever. It was like someone is shooting at you and you have to choose which way to dive.
Mm.
Yuki did that, but he like decided halfway in the middle that he was going to do both sides. So he was like, whoa, 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 whoa. And then Lando's like, fuck this. I'm going around the outside. So he did. He literally left the track, came back on. And who gets the penalty? Yuki.
Yuki Tsunoda. Yeah, 5-second penalty to Yuki Tsunoda on his last race in Formula One for now. But like, hey guys, couldn't it have been both? What? How did Lando literally leave? But the stewards said they ruled the way that they did because they said that Lando would not have left the track except for the fact that Yuki pushed him wide, basically.
I mean, okay, yeah. So, and Yuki's official penalty was more than one change of direction on track, which, yes, he made 15 changes of directions immediately, right at once. Yes, but I don't think he pushed him so far wide. Also, the where he ended up to where Lando went around him, he was on, from what I remember, close to the racing line. It wasn't like he pushed him like the racing line was on the left side and he was on the full right side of the track.
Right. I do feel like Lando had space. However, he had been watching Yuki, I guess, drive a little erratically. And so he chose to give a lot of space, which resulted in him going off the track.
Yeah, don't mess with a man who has zero fucks to give.
Absolutely.
He literally had nothing to lose.
This was his entire instructive as a Red Bull second seat driver was, hey, when we come to the championship, you must be the widest car that is on the track.
Yeah.
And it's just so frustrating because even though the Red Bull looked incredible this weekend, in Yuki's hands, it's never been as fast as the McLaren. And so that is such a hard instruction to be given is like, hey, you haven't been racing Lando this season because you guys haven't been on the same part of the track. Okay, now don't let him win the championship.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's almost an impossible position to put Yuki in. And we all know the things that have led to this. And I was like, I want you to succeed. I want you to succeed for yourself, for also the like drama that it would come for the championship. Yeah. And it was just, he tried.
It's, yeah. I mean, you know, in that scenario, you're setting someone up to fail. Like, you know that he's going to get around eventually.
Oh, for sure.
You're just trying to hold it off.
Long.
Yeah, as long as possible. And yeah. Well, regardless of whether it was a setup or not a setup, some people think it's quite a conspiracy.
Really? Is this because some of the stewards, in fact, I think all of them, are the same stewards who were presiding over the 2021 controversy of all controversies?
Okay, here's yet another reason why I think everyone was slightly underwhelmed with this Abu Dhabi win, and that's because 2021 ruined it for all of us. It will never be more exciting than a late red flag and restart. Like, there is nothing better. When you have 0.5 between you, I mean,
it's hard to beat.
It's hard to beat. Oh my gosh, I'm going to get myself worked up also. Because
anytime 2021 comes in, you're like, let me take out my earrings. I'm ready to fight.
Literally hold my rings. I also think that the way that Max handled this win was so mature and stunning. I think I've said those words already, but like, it was so fucking beautiful and nice. And it could have gone down so much more dirty. Sure. And it didn't. He gave Lando hugs. Now let's go back to 2021. There was so much contention, and there were disbelieving tears of angst and anger, and I just like it was handled so much better this way around. Could have been handled differently back then. And you could argue that this is because, well, Max already has some championships. Yeah, well, Lewis Hamilton had championships too. So it's time to let it go.
I will neatly avoid all of that. And I will say, Max really presented himself as a pretty stand-up sportsman this time around.
Are a gentleman and a scholar. Hats off.
I know that the emotion that you saw in his race engineer GP really moved you. You want to tell us about poor sweet baby GP?
Poor sweet baby GP. This was my favorite radio message, maybe of all time. Because, well, maybe
I guess you should have categories. It's like favorite spicy, favorite emotional, favorite winning radio message.
Yes.
You can say it's one of. It's in a bucket.
Okay. This is for sure in a bucket, but it's at the top of one of Max's radios, probably towards the top of the bucket, because of when they gave him, you won. You were so close to winning the World Drivers' Championship. We're so proud of you. You know, Max was like, hey, I'm not sad. I'm so proud of all of we accomplished. I can't believe we got this far. I'm so thankful for everyone who helped get us here. And, you know, I don't think he said I'm not sad, but he was like, I'm just feeling grateful and thankful. And this is amazing. And then you see a shot of GP and he has his head in his hands so that the camera can't see his face. To me, it looked like he was despondent. Like for sure he was crying, which you would think, I mean, I know Max has made him cry before, surely, because their relationship.
I would be crying all the time if I was GP. I'd be like, oh my God, be nicer to me, please.
They're an old married couple.
Yeah.
And it's kind of lovely. But then to see that raw emotion, like, wow, that bond you have with your race engineer, how far they've pushed, how far they've come together.
Yeah. Well, it's also just the come down of that extreme adrenaline that I'm sure that they were having the entire weekend is like they know that they need something crazy to happen, but Max checked every box that he had in his hands to check.
See, this is where people are like, oh, poor Oscar. Like, he did everything right. It just didn't pan out for him. This is the same with Max. He did everything right in this race, and it still didn't pan out for him. But that's the way the cookie
racing.
crumbles.
Yeah. We were talking a little bit off air and in our first edit in that it is crazy that if you shuffled around the 24 races that we have, or if you cut the season in half, or you extended it by 2 races, we would have a completely different championship, I feel like, because timing is so integral to the actual turnout that we had. Because for me, having been wanting Piastri to win this and seeing it almost come to fruition in the summer, it's like, oh my gosh, it's going to happen. Piastri's first world championship. This is amazing. There's no way he can lose this. Not no way, because it wasn't that big of a lead, but you know, it looked so in his hands, so securely in his hands. If it had flipped the end and the beginning of the season, we could have had a very different story ending. If we had 2 more races at the end, Max may have won it.
See, I see the way that you're phrasing it now. When we phrase it as like, oh, I just wish they had he didn't have enough time, I think is the way you phrased it. And I take major issue with it. Also, maybe this is because we're talking about Piastri, obviously. But they have the same amount of time.
Right.
It's not like anyone got a benefit of one time or the other. It just, again, it's because it's Christmas, the way the cookie crumbles. It's the way the Christmas.
Oh my God. The crisps.
It's the way the crispy Christmas cookies.
Kringle. Crisp Kringle.
It's the way the Christmas cookie crumbles, y'all.
Wow. Good alliteration. Well done.
You repeat that 9 times fast. It's really hard.
Yes, you were exactly right. Last episode, I said, whoever ends the championship with the most points, that's who's the deserving winner. And that is, period. It is what it is. That's how the cookie crumbles. However, I am frustrated. This is my one piece for Piastri.
Yeah.
In that Piastri, terrible Australia, but partially from a mistake that could have happened to anyone. But then the next races, the next like 10 races were so strong. So strong. And of course, we know in the back half, big slump. But the difference is his teammate got to a slow start following Australia. His slump happened. He then had the time. He had the time to reorganize his mind. And we're about to get into this. He made such huge strides on how he manages his mental state.
Mm-hmm.
And so he was able to put the work into that, both in himself and also by augmenting the team of people around him.
Mm-hmm.
And there was that suspension change that was put on his car. So he had the benefit of the back half of the season getting to implement those changes. Piastri it was flipped. And again, that's how that Christmas cookie crumbles. That is hard to say. But it's just frustrating as the Piastri fan being like,
yeah,
if we'd flipped it, we'd be a Piastri win maybe, or maybe a Max. But that's the beauty of like, we changed this one little detail and we could have a whole different outcome. The butterfly effect is in full.
If Kimi hadn't gotten his brain zapped, he would have been fine. If Leclerc had found his big boy panties.
Listen. There is nothing else that Leclerc could have done. I do not understand how we are not all standing ovation clapping for Leclerc.
I mean, he did an amazing job, but it petered out. It was like,
I know.
I thought his noodle was going to be a lot harder than it was.
My favorite part of doing this with you is that I can see it in your face as you're like, I am committing to this. Is everyone ready? I'm going to say this joke.
I test it on my face and look at Rachel and I'm like, am I going to let this out? Yeah, I am.
Yeah, you are. Yep. We love a noodle talk.
Why not? Okay, listen. I don't need to talk about Leclerc's noodle. But what I need to talk about is the fact that I think I don't know how to bring this up safely, so I'm just going to say it.
Okay.
I think Leclerc and Gasly are of similar caliber, and I simply think that the only reason Pierre Gasly is at the bottom of the grid is because he's in an Alpine, and he doesn't deserve that. Justice for Pierre. Period.
Justice for Kimi first. Pierre can get his own job. I take serious issue with this controversial statement that you have because Charles Leclerc, I think, is a world champion driver. Has he secured that title yet? No. And I can lay that fully at the feet of Ferrari in the last couple seasons. 2022, when he had a bid against Max, and we thought maybe they would be fighting until the end, I think that's on Leclerc. Leclerc had a lot of maturing to do in that season. He had a lot of moments similar to Lando where he would hit like a problem moment and he did not always react with the level of calmness that I think he does now. Now, I feel like in a weird way, he's had a bit of an underdog couple seasons.
Yeah.
Even though you're in a Ferrari, that sounds crazy to say. But he has honed his speed that we always knew he had. His racecraft, I must say, is impeccable. And that's not just me being a biased fan. He is one of the most exciting racers to watch go wheel to wheel.
He is great. I will agree. And because he's in a Ferrari, we get to see him race. Unfortunately, because Pierre Gasly is in a fucking tractor, we don't get to see him that often. And I think if Pierre Gasly were given the chance, I think he could be up there. I think he could at least fight up there. He could be on podiums.
The trick, though, is that we have seen him in a top car.
When?
Red Bull.
Okay, that was when he was young. Now,
true.
You said Leclerc has benefited from that maturity. I beg the same argument with Pierre. I really do think, especially seeing him with Colapinto, seeing him with Doohan, like you got to see how he reacted with rookies, and you must agree he has outqualified his rookies, obviously.
Sure. But I feel like this is the same comparison that we have with Max, because Max is beating second teammates that are not necessarily in my category. I have like world champion driver and like good Grand Prix driver. There is not a single person on the grid who is not extraordinarily 1000% talented. Yes. But I feel like there are two categories. And there used to be a third category, which was paid driver. Get out of
Lance
here.
Stroll.
But sure, also that. Yeah, that can be our third bucket. But right now, I feel like Max is going up against good Grand Prix drivers. I would love to see Max up against a world champion driver in the same car. That's the comparison I want to see. And so I think Pierre is a really great, fast, safe pair of hands. I don't know if either by talent or because of the way the cookie crumbled that he has gotten shuffled to the back of the grid. I don't know if his experience or talent have crafted him into a world champion driver.
You know what? Just because you have a piping set to pipe the icing on your Christmas cookie doesn't mean your Christmas cookie is any different. As if I had just a butter knife and I smeared the icing on it and I dumped a shitload of sprinkles on it, it's still a Christmas cookie.
I think I'm following, but my headline, unfortunately, is I think Charles Leclerc wins.
Okay, well, we may never know. Or maybe we will next year because we have all new cars.
Well, we may never know because I don't think Ferrari is going to be a top car. And I hate to say that.
Well, then we'll just see him around the corner with fighting with Pierre Gasly.
Yeah, we will get a perfect comparison. I do not want this. I do not want this. I do not want this. Okay, we have spent an entire episode talking about other people.
Okay, wait. I want to hear what your favorite part about the win was.
Oh my gosh. Okay. I may get a little teary-eyed because, number one, I love seeing people achieve their dreams. Like, if ands, buts, nothing about it. Even if this is not your driver, even if Lando Norris is not your favorite driver, it is incredible to see someone achieve their lifelong dream. The joy that he had, the relief that he had, made me very emotional. It was incredible to see him win, and in the way that he kept repeating in his way, in the Lando way.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that he has unlocked a way that a world champion can be. And I think that's a really important thing for the sport to have, even if it was not who I was rooting for.
Yeah.
The emotion that happened after the race really made it a really special thing for me.
I think you're also specifically talking about the fact that Lando had his entire family there.
Yes, that was, to answer your question specifically, the highlight of the win for me. We've talked with a lot of people in our community about why Formula One. And of course, we've talked about the drama, the speed, the technical side. It's all really, really alluring to me. But I think at the heart of it, I find a weird bit of kinship in seeing these drivers who had to commit to a career as such a young child. I moved in with a host family at 13 because I lived in a tiny, tiny town. And to pursue dance, I needed to decide that's what I wanted to do with my life and commit to that fully. And so we are seeing these drivers who have to make that choice and moved to another continent in some instances because they know this is my dream. And what that requires is a family that is so behind you and so bought in on, I want you to achieve your dream. And this is making me emotional, but it was incredible not only to see Lando achieve his dream, but you knew that that was his entire family's dream. And his immediate thanking them, his mom and his dad, for their part, because he knows that his dream would not have ever been achieved without his ability to stand on their shoulders and their absolute commitment to making sure that their son was able to chase this wild, like so improbable dream. But they were bought in. And they got to share that on that day. And so that just gives me a lot of joy. And knowing that, I mean, I had a wonderful mom who was like, you want to dance? Great, let's figure it out. And I'm only doing what I do today because my mom also bought in on my dream. And so I was just emotional seeing that, both for Lando and for my own experiences in my life.
Yeah. Also seeing Lando's emotionality.
Yes.
Like right away, he could not stop tearing up. He couldn't almost believe it himself.
Right.
I think he had, well, we talk a lot about imposter syndrome in our line of work. And I think that would be in that high pressure situation. You also have that type of imposter syndrome. He didn't think it was possible that he was actually going to do it, even though it was happening.
Right.
It was happening. Everyone who was talking to him was like, Lando, you're the world champion. How do you feel? And he was like, I feel like a loser. I'm crying. And David Coulthard was like, you don't look like a loser to me. You look like a winner. And that was the perfect response.
Absolutely.
Seeing that I think also added, I probably would have turned off the TV a lot sooner had I not kept seeing all of that emotion.
Yeah.
And it is, the raw emotion is so beautiful, and that's what makes the sport. You're right.
Yes.
That's why we watch.
Period.
Period.
Yeah. It was really exceptional to see how much it affected him and how open he was ready to be and to share that vulnerability of that joy, because we often see his vulnerability and his openness in his low moments. And so to see that same openness in his high moments was really gratifying as fans and as humans.
Yep. Yeah. I saw a lot of people trolling Lando's mom. And to that, I say, back off.
Get out. Get a life. That's what I say. What?
Listen, she's weird, but I love her. I love her.
She just emanates like warmth and joy.
She's also unapologetically who she is.
Yes.
She does not care if she's going to wear pigtails because she's happy. Like,
yeah,
go.
Yeah.
Go, girl. Wear your pigtails. I don't care if you're.
Even better to hug your son with. Oh my God.
Oh, there's nothing better. And I remember there was a specific race. Maybe it wasn't the first one he won, but there was a very specific race. He was there. Was this Silverstone? He won Silverstone, and his mom was right there, lifted up his visor and was like, look at me. You did it. In the visor balls. Visor balls.
Visor balls, visor balls. That's like the beginning to a really bad children's book, Dr. Seuss.
Dr. Visor balls.
It's possible. We have been rehearsing all day long. Welcome, listeners, to Delirium.
Okay.
That was just a lot of emotion to like filter.
Yeah, 100%. It was touching.
Yeah.
You had to have been a robot to not be touched by that. But yeah, I was still a little bit, it still felt underwhelming.
Mm-hmm.
I think just because of the circumstances, which also makes me feel a little bad for Lando.
I don't think it will matter to him.
That's true.
I mean, you're right. We're not like, oh my God, screaming down the barrel of the mic, like, Lando Norris is champion. But I feel like this is actually in many ways more in line with how he wanted to win.
Yes.
Because he has been so adamant that he is a different type of character than the world champions that we've seen come before him.
Yeah.
And he talked a lot about that in the post press conferences and all the media work that he's done in the days after, is that he openly addressed the media and said, I'm not always as aggressive as you guys want me to be, but I did it my way. And while I sometimes have critiques of his way, I really respect the fact that he won and was able to do it his way. And again, that he kept pointing out that it's not just his way, it was his community's way. It was the people that augmented his on-track work, his mental work. It's a joyful story, even though the race itself was a bit bittersweet.
It takes a village. This is also, I think, what you're talking about. You need the support. Even as a dancer, we need the support of physical therapists, of massage. We need rolling balls. We need friendship community.
Yeah.
We need, sometimes if we're mothers, we need babysitters. We need someone to watch our kids while we're in late night rehearsals. It all takes a freaking village, no matter what you do. But yes, for athletes especially, you need so many levels of support to make your dreams come true.
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
Well, speaking of dreams coming true.
And dreams being broken.
This is really, truly bittersweet.
Yeah. Let's
because
go to our
newsroom is a lot. A little somber sound, a little somber song. Because, do you want to share who we're losing from the 2026 grid?
I want to sing Enya, but I don't think I can. But that would be my song that we would overlay here. Because the day after we recorded, the day we actually released our last episode, we found out that Yuki Tsunoda has been let go from the second seat in Red Bull. They are bumping up Isack Hadjar. We're saying
there you go. French. The proper way.
Anyway, they're bumping up Hadjar into the second seat, and Yuki Tsunoda is now becoming a reserve driver for Red Bull and Racing Bulls v Carbonara. So when I tell you that when I found out, I threw my shoe And then
True story.
I actually started crying in the
Like
middle of the
big,
dance studio.
fat crocodile tears.
I can't even explain why I feel such a kinship to him, other than, when you talk about like the kinship we feel to these drivers, we watch them so intensely. Or maybe it's also because I've met him. He signed my point shoes. Like it just, I don't know, something about also like the hard fought battle. Something about that really sticks and resonates with me.
You also are a firecracker. He's a firecracker.
He is. He's spicy. Yeah, he's tiny. Yuki, don't ever stop doing you. That's what I have to say. If you want to put out your own calendar of naked butts, Valtteri Bottas style, I'm here for it.
I'm sure Valtteri would give a consult. You know what I want?
What? Double butts?
Oh, sure.
2 butts.
Oh. I was thinking I want a like travel show of Yuki and Valtteri going around and trying food and coffee and driving cars, basically being like the grand tour.
Oh my God.
Of our day.
Do you remember Mattia Binotto and Gunther Steiner did that? And it was so cute.
It was precious. And this would be precious, but also unhinged because those two are,
right.
They are their own humans very strongly. And I would love that. But double butts, I think would also be a Christmas treat.
Great. Let's make it happen. Immediately writing emails. Dear Yuki and Bottas, please make another naked calendar together. XOXO, legs out.
Yes. Co-signed. We don't actually know that much about Arvid Lindblad, who is replacing Isack in the V-Carb seat, V-Carbonara. He is a F2 driver. And that's unfortunately a little bit where my knowledge ends. I saw him race in Monaco. He was really exciting.
Woo.
But despite the fact that we knew he was probably who was going to be tagged in for our wonderful Yuki through the web of Red Bull
He's been
chaos.
a reserve driver, hasn't he? He's been the reserve.
Question. I don't know.
I think
he's been in their development program for a long time.
Yes. Yeah. I think he's been a reserve driver for a while now. So it makes sense that he would get the nod.
Absolutely. He's definitely been picked for a long time. This is not a shock. But we will bring much more detail to you in an upcoming episode where we debut him as a driver, and we'll give him all the fun facts and all the racing history that we do for all the other drivers. So if you were curious about any of the other drivers on the grid, you can go back and listen to those episodes, and I'll pin those in our description.
Yes. And now moving right along to the good news that we have.
What a way to end this episode.
Fucking finally.
Celebration. We got sent a text and I said, I'm literally hallelujah-ing about this news.
Our dear, lovely, apparently a doctor, Helmut Marko.
Lovely, dear. Get out of
is leaving Red Bull.
Yeah. I can't yell loud enough with
See you
this
later.
voice, but I would be, oh dear God, here we are.
I really want you to bleep me.
Okay. Yes. The news that hit everyone's hearts with gladness and joy is that he is leaving the Red Bull program. And you have some facts about his history with Red Bull because we don't like him. However, similar to Christian Horner, the man made a huge mark on the team that we know today as Red Bull. Both of them were absolutely instrumental in building this team. So he is kind of a testament to you can create a great thing while also not being a great human. He brought how many drivers through?
Oh, he brought 20 drivers to Formula One. Yeah. So this is a quote directly from the Formula One website. The author writes, during his 2-decade affiliation with the company, he has overseen the progression of 20 drivers to Formula One, including Max Verstappen and Sebastian Vettel, who went on to win 8 world titles between them when driving for Red Bull. So he did stuff while he was there. He is so old that he grew up in war-occupied Austria, and I don't think he ever left.
Yeah, maybe that is exactly the reason that he treats the drivers that he pressurizes into either diamond or out of the sport and has to
Dust.
find, yeah, exactly, dust. Maybe that's exactly what his approach is.
I mean, also, he is a doctor of law, meaning oh, technically doctor of laws. He went to study the law, and then instead of going on to take the bar and become a lawyer, he chose to pursue racing. So,
And studied jackassery.
she said it.
I said it. I did. And I would say it again. He did bring some incredible people. Max Verstappen, Sebastian Vettel. The Red Bull development team was lauded as the premier development program
Yeah.
for many, many, many years. What he did worked very well.
Yeah.
In a certain era of time.
Yes. And, just because he is who we think he is now, doesn't mean that he hasn't accomplished all these things. I feel like in the spirit of journalism and integrity, I feel like it's important to just note all that he has done for Red Bull, because he has done lots of things that have helped them grow to who they are today. That's great. I also think you're a bigoted patriarchal pig. So
Good riddance.
yeah. So those two things can be true.
Yeah.
And we wish you the best of luck on
The
your
best
newest
retirement
journey.
or wherever else you're gonna put your grubby little hands in.
Take your little walker and
Just get out of Formula One.
take a nap. You're tired.
At
right?
this point, I may be a full-blown Red Bull fan by 2026 because they have done exactly what you hoped for. They have cleaned house.
Oh, that broom swept so well. There are probably still like a few tiny cobwebs in the corner, but like, man, did you get the bulk of it out? You had a giant garage sale. You kicked out the pea-stained furniture, and you were like, why is it always about pee now? You even if you bought like brand new furniture, maybe it's like a little IKEA looking, that's okay.
It's all right. You can build upon that.
Exactly right. You can buy fresh new throw pillows to make that look so good. It's going to be great. It's going to be great.
Yeah. I am so excited for 2026.
Mm-hmm.
This was a full season, and we're going to kind of digest what we think were our favorite moments.
Yeah.
As Elaine said, be sure to share those with us because we can't wait to hear what your favorite moment of the season was, what your least favorite moment of the season was.
Yes.
All the highlights, basically.
Literally the highlights, the lowlights. Please reach out to us. We will do an entire episode about it soon. Because we are not going anywhere on this break. We always have more to talk about. And
we have to talk about the 2026 car. I have a lot of technical things to share with you all, and I'm so excited. Elaine is not elated, but I am elated.
Has been sick until that moment.
Yeah, I woke up. All I need.
She was risen.
She resurrected
right up here.
Time for engineering.
That's right. For tires.
Oh, good. We didn't even talk about tires.
We didn't need to.
But we covered a lot of really exciting things this season. And so I'm so proud of us. This has been a delightful time. And so thank you for all sharing in this journey, because it's just it's a joy to be able to talk about the things that we love with each other and with you guys.
Yeah. Hey, man, cheers to the 2025 season. 2026 isn't here yet, but it will be soon.
Yes, it will.
So stay tuned for Rachel's New Year, New Rules.
New Year, New Rules.
Woo. Okay. Well, so with that, it's legs out. And away we go. We'll see you next time.